morning I'm going to discuss the XOS1511 exam paper, January-February 2016, question number 7. It says here, Mary, Beauty and Info train for the Comrades Marathon and for 4 weeks keep a record of the total distance each of them put in during that week. The incomplete program below inputs the respective distances and stores them in a two-dimensional array called training, with 4 rows and 3 columns. The program then displays for each week the longest distance anyone covered. Here is an example of the input data for the program. So there you have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. You've got Mary, Beauty and Info. And the corresponding output is the longest distance covered in week 1 was 120, longest distance covered in week 2, 122, 119 and 106. Use the declarations in the incomplete program below and do the following. Declare the two-dimensional array training. So here I've declared the two-dimensional arrays, taking it from the number of weeks and the number of ladies, and I'm saying I want 4 week rows and I want 3 columns. So, and I've declared it as a data type of int, and I've used the word training as what they've asked here. Okay, so that's a two-dimensional. So there's your 2 marks. The next one was a little bit complicated, but I eventually figured it out. Assume array training has been initialized and write a program fragment to determine and display the longest distance anyone covered per week. So here what I've done is I've started with a for loop and I'm going by the number of weeks because we want to go through the rows, and then what I've had to do is tell longest that it must be set to 0 for every week that it runs. Otherwise, you'll hit a luck like me and you get to 120, 122 and you can't ever get away from it. So, yeah, I discovered that through playing around with the code. Then, over here you can see I've said the ladies are the inner loop and the num is the outer loop, if I remember inner and outer correctly. And then, yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm saying that if the training, the dimension that it is currently, which the very first record would ever be 0, 0, is greater than the current longest, which it can't really be because the first value of longest is 0, then set longest to the existing dimension, okay, the double dimension. But yeah, so now what will happen is it'll go through each record and it'll say, okay, for that row I've now got my longest, and then out here I said, okay, display the longest. Yeah, basically I use this to test the code, and what I've done is I've created a little demo. This is how I've populated the table. So I know that it works, and I'll leave it as it is here, but I just needed to change this because this one will give you some funny numbers. Okay, so I basically populated this table according to how arrays work. As I was saying, the very first record is a 0i and a 0j, and it's set to 100. Then the I is 0 and the J is 1, which is basically the number of weeks and the number of ladies. Okay. Now if you execute this code, you should see this is what it does. It says week 1, lady 1, and then lady 2, lady 3, and then puts the 120. The 120 is coming from the longest. And as you can see, according to this list over here, 120 is the first option, 122 is the second option, 119 is the third one, and 106 is the last one. So that's how I know that the code is working. I hope this has been informative, and I wish you the best of luck for these two-dimensional arrays. I'm glad they're teaching everyone about them because they're a little bit more challenging than the normal code. But as I say, best of luck with the exams, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.